Good Wednesday morning. This will be a very interesting weather outlook. I do not know what to tell you about next week. I'll tell you what the models are showing. I'll tell you that there always are caveats this far off. And if this were to come true with the GFS, we would be shoveling next week's snow. But anyway, we'll see what happens here. So let's go ahead with today. Today it is going to be a pretty mild day. Southerly winds will come in here. The showers and morning fog and stuff should be all gone by the next couple hours. Let's say like later this morning. And breezes will pick up from the south, gusty. We could see temperatures reach all the way to 70 degrees. By late in the day, though, the winds will switch directions to the northwest. As the front comes through, then we'll start to bring in the drier, cooler air. But today, warm, breezy though. Winds could gust over 20 to 30 mile per hour throughout the day. Then the breezy winds will pick up tomorrow and temperatures will be cold. Highs only in the low to mid 40s with strong winds will feel much cooler than that. And then on Friday, which you're seeing here, strong northwesterly winds, cold temperatures, highs will probably not even reach 40 degrees. With winds around, it will feel like the 20s. And then as we go into Saturday, the winds will slacken off. It's still kind of breezy though, just based on what I'm seeing here. But eventually kind of die off. Again, though, temperatures only around 40 degrees. I am watching this moisture out to the west try to go into this high pressure, and it kind of fizzles out somewhat pretty quickly here as it goes to the east. That's because there's so much disconnect between the moisture and the low pressure that it kind of falls apart. But you do see that there are some snow showers in the region on Sunday. We'll have to see if this comes true. I can see rain or snow or sleet showers possible. Nothing too significant, but maybe a little taste of something to come. All right, so that front tries to settle to our south. It does just enough as a low pressure forms here in the Gulf of Mexico. We haven't seen this in forever, or Gulf of America, whatever you want to call it. The Gulf, basically, and it's going to come towards the northeast. And as it does, it picks up a lot of moisture out of the south, and there is cold to the high to the north. You see this cold air pressing down, and a low coming into it, well, and a low up here off of the northeast. You need this type of pattern. It's a very classic setup. It's called a 50-50 low. It's going to go off to the east. So that low that kind of causes a little bit of stuff on Sunday goes up and kind of parks, and it funnels in the colder air and blocks the high from moving out quickly. And with that, we see snow set in. And this is Tuesday. This is no light snow amount. Quite a heavy amount of snow here. It mixes over briefly, but then turns over to heavy snow. That is very heavy snow right there. As a low tracks perfect if you want a big snowstorm for us at all on this GFS model run. And so we get even into the major amounts of the backlash of the snow. And this is a monster snowstorm for us. I don't know if this is going to come true. I'm just telling you what the models are showing. Who knows if it's true or not. Temperatures should moderate some as we head through next week, probably up into the mid and upper 40s to around 50 at some point. So it'll melt things off, but the snow on the ground may keep the colder temperatures if it does happen. And then we see reinforcing shots of cooler air, and then maybe even some more southern interesting in the long run. I'm not convinced of any of this in the long range at all, other than the fact that maybe we get reinforcing colder air, and then it maybe another low to come in here and cause some type of mischief in the long run. We'll see. I don't think that you have to harp on that. But this low on Tuesday is a humdinger of a storm. But let's look really quick at the European. The European's not going to go far enough out with the 6Z. So we're going to go with the 0Z. That was a late night run of the European model. And the reason why I'm showing you this is just to show you the difference in the way things look. So the normal, cold through the weekend. Here is Sunday. A lot more moisture on this, by the way. It does start off with a little bit of mix of sleet and snow there before it goes over to rain. Then we go to next week. The thing that's supporting here is that there's a southern low. The difference is that we don't have the strong anchor here of high to the north. It's just moving out of the way. And because of that, as it moves east, the warmer air gets entrained and we go over to rain, which honestly, this feels more probable to me than the other scenario, but we'll see. It's a very close call in some ways to a snowstorm, but it seems a little more reasonable to me to think that we probably wouldn't get a big snowstorm out of this. Then we keep going out. I mean, this is still chilly and below normal temperatures as we go in the long range, and even reinforcing really cold shot here. And the super long range, almost a storm there forming on the models, and then way late in the period, it's continuing with this northwest flow. All right, so what do I think? In general, I think it has been a very hard year to get any lows out of the Gulf of Mexico to come up the East Coast. If this happens, it'll be pretty amazing. We need the moisture regardless, so hopefully we get rain out of it, even if we get nothing else, and it's significant rain. If it is cold enough for snow, it could be significant, for sure. But I would not be surprised with two things. One, this low is way overplayed on the GFS, so it's not nearly as potent as it looks like. Two, the cold air just doesn't stick around as strong enough. I mean, this is not ideal time for snowstorms this month from now. Be a little more excited about the fact that cold can stick around. Three, I think that you've got some competing here with the GFS and the Euro are out of sync, but that's not a surprise. The European and the GFS have been out of sync a lot, and the GFS actually has been just as possible as a European in some of these model playouts. So the European, though, I think, may give us a better sense that, yes, a southern storm is coming, but maybe it's not as cold as we would need it to be for snow. So my thinking is it could be a close call, or we could get some good snow, but I know I don't have any firm feeling. My feeling is I get excited about a big, strong snowstorm, but I think we got to temper those ideas. Climatologically speaking, it's not the best time. Ironically, this was what models were kind of picking up on for a long time. The pattern could be conducive for a snowstorm, but then they kind of waffled the last week, which made us all waffle on our forecast. So, of course, stay tuned. It'll be interesting. I'll give small model updates. If things kind of come together a little better, then that's good. I will show you, though, by the way, this 60 forecast. And I want to show it just because I thought it was a little closer step towards the GFS. To go all the way to the end here to see it. But here's that southern low, and there is colder air pressing in on this one as the low is coming up. So this at least brings some credence to the fact that regardless of whether or not it stays snow, we could see some snow in the middle of next week. So we'll see. Anyway, all right, that's it for now. It's a long one. Have a good one.